invite our next guest, Dennis. Dennis Zelazowski, founder of cDNA Technology, a startup building the technology infrastructure for the next generation of digitally innovative eyewear brands, emerging designers, innovative retailers, and forward-thinking manufacturers. So let's welcome Dennis to introduce your eyewear manufacturing.
Thanks, Andy. I tried to tell a joke over a Zoom call. Turns out I'm not remotely funny. So today we're going to ask, what is an entrepreneur? Does anybody know what is an entrepreneur? Well, Thomas Schumpeter said an entrepreneur is a person with a great idea and no money. About the eyewear market, 65% of us need some form of vision correction, and it's even higher in Asia. The global eyewear market's $180 billion, and it's predicted to almost double by 2030. So today we're going to talk to you about the new economy of sustainable digital manufacturing, on-demand production, addressing the inventory-tied capital. So for example, if you're looking about the car market in the US, if you go to buy a GM or a Toyota or a Ford, they have 100 cars on the lot. You pick the one you want and you drive off. But Ford still has 99 cars depreciating on the lot. But when you buy a Tesla, you pick the color, the wheels, the battery, you pay, then they make it. So Tesla has none of the inventory tied capital, logistics, storage, or depreciation as the legacy auto manufacturers. My grandfather owned an optical lab back in the 60s and 70s, and they used to have a mold and tools for every single lens, shape, design, and prescription. It was an inventory and SKU nightmare. But 20 years ago, the Germans came up with a technology called a digital surfacing machine. This machine can take a common piece of plastic and turn it into a Hoya lens, a Zeiss lens, a Nikon lens. And with this transformation, allowed the lens brands to get out of the inventory logistics business totally. They have a digital license file, and when your doctor prescribes a Zeiss lens, the lab makes it on demand and pays Zeiss $30. So my first startup I did in my 20s was called Chemistry Clip-On. I invented and patented this magnetic clip-on. We scaled this to 50,000 doors by leveraging the optical lab channel because we used our digital production technology. After doing this for 7 years, the lab said to me, Dennis, we love your clip-on. It's the most profitable add-on we have. What else can you sell us that we can plug into our digital production lines to make even more money? So 12 years ago, I relocated to Hong Kong to study manufacturing in China and Shenzhen. And what I found shocked me. The eyewear manufacturing is still stuck in 1975. They use high labor costs and high inventory costs, and they're going out of business left and right. The brands are tying up huge inventory capital because the factories all require a high MOQ and a long lead time, and they have to pay the upfront molding and tooling fees. So we figured there's got to be a better way. Our tech stack is an on-demand production solution that simplifies and streamlines everything from order to fulfillment. We've built AI-powered ATM machines for eyewear. Consumers use it to visualize the frame, make adjustments, customize, and orders are sent to a digital on-demand factory. So we're targeting traditional manufacturers to convert them from their carbon-intensive processes to eco-friendly, sustainable manufacturing. We generate revenue through 3 income streams. 1, the sale of digital manufacturing factories. 2, our retail kiosks. And 3, individual eyewear. We're projecting $158 million of revenue in the 5th year, with about 100 manufacturers supporting. So how do you de-risk a startup? Number 1, you have a deep industry network. Number 2, we have a backlog of demand. These guys are already making my clip-on, so I have a deep connection and relationship with them. Traction, our pilot program produced over 4,000 unique eyewear orders from 40 kiosks in 12 countries. And while competitors are doing virtual try-on and Instagram filters We own the whole supply chain. So the competitors have already got a beachhead and they're raising funds. And the fifth way you de-risk is with an expert team. Our team has over 100 combined years of experience in eyewear manufacturing, machinery, and automation technology. So we're seeking $5 million US to build our first smart factory here in Hong Kong at Cyberport. We've got a government grant from Cyberport. We're graduated from the incubation, and we're also a graduate of the Betatron Accelerator. This is how we're going to use the funds. And there's also a government 2-to-1 matching grant that we qualify for. And just to give you a brief idea of the level of the opportunity here, if we have Zeiss at 10,000 pieces per day at $30 per click, that's $300,000 a day from one client. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis. So one question is, so it is you're designing the lens, so
Designing frames.
Designing frames.
But we're actually providing the technology that enables the brands to design their frames without minimum quantities, lead time, and molds.
Okay.
So on demand, just in time production.
Wow, this will be very sexy because I think low lead time, low inventory cost is something what we are dreaming of. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Any questions? Feel free to find Dennis to discuss. Everyone has to wear a glass now. Sure. Right. So next we are going to have Leonardo. Leonardo